Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So we're going to look at running. Yes, I know I have talked about running a number of times in boxing. In front of you, you are looking at a number of boxers who are running right now. But that's exercise. But usually when people use that term, they mean it in a derogatory way to boxers who are not engaging with their opponents, and it seems as though they're trying to be more elusive than actually box their opponents. So I'll give you an example of a runner in the way how some people may look at it. Erislandy Lara is considered a classical runner. In truth, Erislandy Lara, he uses what is called the classical stick and move in an advanced sort of way. He incorporates his 1-2s with it, he incorporates a hook, and he builds other punches off of his jab and off of his 1-2, his basic 1-2. But he doesn't stay fixed in any position. He constantly moves around the ring, he's constantly in movement, and he's constantly on his back foot, as they say, meaning he's constantly trying to maintain distance and stay away from his opponent, whereas a front foot fighter is trying to get closer towards his opponent. So he matches up well with pressure fighters. Erislandy Lara also typifies a stick and move fighter because, one, he's not necessarily looking to counter you, but he's also looking to land his shots and then get away from you. So he's constantly moving. He may set for a split second, land some punches, and then move. Now, that's the classical stick and move fighter. And for some reason, people have stereotyped Black American and Cuban fighters according to that style. They believe it's about cutting them off, and that's how you actually beat Black American and Cuban fighters. The truth is, though, that most fighters are not, well, a significant portion of boxers, Black American and also Cuban boxers, don't actually utilize that particular kind of style. Well, at least a significant portion of them. In fact, a lot of them are not in that sort of elite status to even employ that style successfully. A lot of them get cut off in the ring and they get beaten up, so they don't use that style. So boxers like Sugar Shane Mosley don't use that style. Paul Williams didn't use that style. Mike Tyson did not and does not use that style. And a plethora of other black fighters don't use that style. But a sizable amount of black fighters, probably the majority, do use that style. A lot of African fighters don't use that style. Okay? Joshua Clottey doesn't use that style. But a sizable amount of Black American and Cuban boxers do use that style. Now, for some reason, people think that style means you are a coward, you don't have heart, because you don't engage. It's a style. It's just a style of boxing. Okay? And yes, many Mexican fighter or pressure fighter has knocked out fighters utilizing that style. However, like I said, many black fighters, a sizable amount of them, don't utilize that style. Evander Holyfield didn't use that style. Lennox Lewis used that style to some degree, but he was a tall fighter, so he fought tall. And while he did box, he could also fight in the center of the ring and push. He could actually walk his opponents down. Now, fighters like him, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Vladimir Klitschko, Bernard Hopkins, Andre Ward, and Guillermo Rigondeaux, these sort of fighters do not really use the classical or the advanced version of the stick and move style. What these fighters use more than that is they use angles to approach their opponents. Mike Tyson used angles himself, but he was on the front foot. These guys, they can go on the front foot or the back foot, or they can stay balanced and stand right in front of you toe to toe, and from their stance and position, change their stance and position, upper body and lower body, to attack you. They can move laterally in ways that the traditional stick and move fighters could not and do not move. These guys are masters of angles. That's what their advantage is. Floyd Mayweather is a master of angles, how he attacks you, how he approaches you. Defensively minded, yes, but also offensively minded as well. Similarly with guys like Bernard Hopkins and Guillermo Rigondeaux, they cut angles at beautiful points to be able to attack their opponents. They can switch from front foot offense directly into back foot defense. They can switch from offense to defense in the drop of a dime. And this is why they're able to feint offense so well, because they have great balance. So these kind of fighters are not runners. You can't say Guillermo Rigondeaux is a runner. I see people throwing derogatory comments and calling him a runner. Guillermo Rigondeaux doesn't move much around the ring. In fact, most of the time he's walking his opponents down once they feel his power. Guys like Floyd Mayweather Jr., they don't move much in the ring, even though he did move a lot in the second fight with Marcos Maidana, but he chose to. Same thing for Andre Ward, same thing for Bernard Hopkins, same thing for guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, even though he did move a lot. He literally did classical stick and move against Marvin Hagler. Guys like, but he definitely didn't do it against Tommy Hearns. These guys can fight on the inside, they can fight on the outside, they can fight mid-range. But everything about them has to do with angles. And that's where people don't understand. It's the angles that are important to make sure that your opponents do not hit you while you're hitting them. It's hit and not get hit. So guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones Jr., guys like James Toney, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Bernard Hopkins, these guys have not really had severe damage to their face. I know Sugar Ray Leonard had a socket in his eye damaged, but other than that, they haven't really undergone severe damage in their careers. But guys like Paul Williams have, guys like heavyweight Evander Holyfield has, and a number of other black fighters I could tell you who have. Okay? So I just wanted to say that so that you know the difference between running. This right here, the picture that we're watching here, is running. These are all the athletes running. But there's actually a style of boxing that is known as the stick and move style. That is different to running. But on top of that, not every black fighter or Cuban fighter is a runner. Okay? That's very important for you to understand. There's just a sizable amount of them that are not runners. So once you understand that, then it kind of makes more sense as you watch. Timothy Bradley is not a runner either. In fact, he's got a very aggressive style. He generally attacks his opponent. But he's also has a certain degree of slickness to him, and he cuts angles at certain points, which is what allows him to do what he does very well. Alright, you guys, well, have a great one, and on to the next video.